Looks like whatever force had a hold on Hartman isn't mixing well with his corruption. Blake did call him the third thing.
Okay, I'm just going to freestyle a bit. My mother always said, never talk to strangers. Always. Never. Always. Never. But isn't a stranger just someone you don't know? What if the only thing stopping a stranger from being a friend is that word? Stranger. Strange like the noises you hear at night when there is no light and you cannot fight. Strange like a rubber duck that follows you around and makes you drop your coffee every time that it quacks because the noise scares you. Then you have to clean up the coffee while the duck stares at you and continues to quack, 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 quack.
A chain letter. I remember these. Mom used to say they were evil. Better do what it says. You know, just in case. There must be a photocopier around here.
Move this letter along before he gets you. Oh no, this spooky man letter has found you. The spooky man curse is coming to you. To miss the curse, you must mail this letter to people. If you don't, the curse will get you. The more letters you mail, the better off you will be. Sally in Houston did not send the letter, and the spooky man ate her cat. Terrence in Greenstone did not send the letter, and the spooky man gave him acne. Kyle did not send the letter, and now his wife eats dinner alone. Linda did send more letters, 30 letters in total so far, and look at her now. She owns 3 cars. She has all her fingers. She speaks Italian. You need to mail this letter. You better mail this letter. Don't let the spooky man come. He'll take your cat. Go find your stamps. Hurry. Examination of Paranormal Entities. Dr. Emil Hartman. Shaded. Summary. Dr. Hartman is the first Type 2 shaded individual to be examined alive by the Bureau and has proven a valuable asset for our understanding of A010, aka the Shadow. Like all shaded individuals, the specimen is constantly shielded by or produces a reducted of deckness that makes visual observation difficult. This reducted also protects the specimen. For testing, non-lethal ballistica proved ineffective against it. The specimen uses words and phrases that seem to originate from its previous life as a therapist. Some phrases have even been identified as quotes from Dr. Hartman's book, The Creator's Daima. This seems to indicate the host's personality remains reducted to some degree. For research purposes, Shaded Hartman was relocated to the Cauldron Lake Lodge replica built for the reducted AWE investigation. Researchers hope a familiar setting may trigger new behavior. This experiment has yielded no results thus far.
「
Examination of Paranormal Entities. Dr. Emil Hartman. Shaded. Summary. Dr. Hartman is the first Type 2 shaded individual to be examined alive by the Bureau and has proven a valuable asset for our understanding of A010, aka the Shadow. Like all shaded individuals, the specimen is constantly shielded by or produces a reducted of deckness that makes visual observation difficult. This reducted also protects the specimen.
This certainly feels familiar.
This piece is called Me and You. It's summer in New York City. A boy with a wolf's head eats some ice cream. The ice cream melts. The wolf head howls. We howl together, me and you. The mayor stares at a bicycle. A little girl watches him watch the bike, watch him watch the bike, and on and on and on, like the ticking of 1,000 clocks. We listen to the ticking together, me and you. A traffic light decides it doesn't want to be a traffic light anymore. People call it names, and it's hurt. I take it to see a movie. We have a good time, me and you. People think we're weird, but we ignore them. We're friends now, connected by a moment. We'll always share this story, even if people don't understand it. You and me and you.
Director Faden here. I need a ranger dispatched to my position.
Hiss are in for it now!
The director steps closer to the horrible entity. He reaches out with a steady hand. Director, you are mine now, creature. I will return you to my facility and control your power. Scientist, sir, we don't know. The entity instead rushes forward and engulfs the director. He screams in pain as the scientist looks on and does nothing, like the coward that he. Entity, subtitled, I am not the one being examined. I am not the one locked inside a prison. Gradually, the director emerges from the entity. His once sparking eyes are now empty and dull. The scientist rushes to him. Sir, we have to escape. Director, we cannot. They are in control now. I got what I wanted.
some sunshine to brighten your day. It's artificial, though. How does that work? And that's the last one. I should appoint someone to take care of these guys. Supervisor of Houseplant Well-Being.
Fra Mauro. Event summary. A paranatural entity arrived on Earth by infiltrating the Apollo 14 lunar mission at an unknown point of their voyage to the Fra Mauro Highlands of the Moon. Event response. 32 hours after the return of the Apollo 14 command module to Earth, the Bureau was contacted by Mr. Reducted, a White House senior official, and instructed to send a small team to the Johnson Space Center in Houston. At the base, the team examined the entity and carried out interviews with NASA staff. They learned that 4 astronauts had returned to Earth instead of the expected 3. Each human crew member was insistent that the mission in fact left with 4 members, though they couldn't name the 4th when asked. The entity seemingly affected their memory to make its presence seem unremarkable. The entity was transported to the oldest house for further investigation. Note: an altercation between NASA security and the investigation team occurred upon their arrival. Mr. Reducted called to clarify the matter, though tensions remained high. Bureau jurisdiction and clearance should be defined more clearly with other agencies. Fra Mauro. Details. The Apollo 14 entity, commonly known as Fra, underwent a series of physical examinations upon its admittance into the oldest house. The entity can speak, though its poor grasp of the English language makes any meaningful communication impossible. Interview material can be found at Redacted. Its physical form consists solely of the Extravehicular Mobility Unit, EMU, spacesuit used by NASA astronauts, the same model worn by the other crew. This could be an authentic EMU taken from one of the NASA astronauts, though this suit does not bear any wearer's name. This, or one materialized through Redacted, corporealized. The suit cell is slightly damaged, which is likely due to the fact that the command module did not have a 4th seat for the entity to strap into during re-entry. The EMU is entirely hollow, and pieces can be removed, though this seems to agitate the entity. X-rays and spectrograph imaging have shown redacted-shaped outlines existing within the set. For safety reasons, the entity will be contained in a secure cell until more information can be gathered.
There. One less place for him to hide.
Yes, hello? Yes, me? Worry who? C to C.
Hello?
Hello! Great about us today. Long roads and no hardly. You are Bygone?
Sure. Why are you locked up in here?
Casual turning. Back and front. And Gerbil took the top head. Not being pressed for that. Lady going and loosing back for eye?
Sorry, I think I'm misunderstanding you. What do you want?
The head? The head for tails? For reading news, jars, words, and tumble. The reading head.
Okay, take it easy. I'll take a look.
So maybe it wants something to read. Or a jar. Let's just see what we can find. This could be what it wants. Let's give it a shot.
No, jars. A head. Scotch and peppers? Head.
Okay, that wasn't right. Let's try something else. Maybe it'll like this.
A-S-B-E. Head.
Nope. Let's keep trying. Maybe this will do the trick?
Rusa, you ping pong. A head.
Guess that wasn't it either. Huh. This might do it. Maybe.
Lady, you are school and dirt for loosing.
Keep that up and I won't help you anymore.
Let's see if this will do it. I'm ready to be done with this.
Hurry, clocks, lady. The head. Head. No snacks. Head is top of all up and down. At the top. The top head.
Wait, does this thing actually mean head? Head is in a body's head? Where the hell am I gonna find that? And how did it lose it? Was this what you had in mind? That's one cent. Two down, one to go. A helmet. For a head. Is that what the prisoner meant? I guess there's only one way to find out.
Chicken station. Oh, far tastier. Press any button?
So the helmet is what you're after, huh?
Tubes. Snug and grape. Pure grapes. Hail a lady.
You're welcome, I guess. Did Kirkland lock you up in here?
Chief trouble? Yes. Teddy's long around. But holdout's unhappiest. Can gather for goldfishes. No wrinkle.
Okay. Well, sounds like you're doing fine in there now. Just make sure you don't go anywhere.
Jelly.
At least we helped this guy. I think. Best we leave it locked up, though. We have no idea what it is, and we don't need any more problems out here.
In the investigation sector when it was evacuated. Well, not there. I was in executive because they have the best snap machines. You may think they're all the same because of that plain white packaging, but there's a difference. You know those thick ruffled potato chips? They're my favorite. All the machines outside executive carry those flimsy little thin chips. They have no texture. I may as well eat cardboard. Anyway, I get back to the elevator and they tell me the sector is being evacuated. They wouldn't even let me go back in for my stuff. Can you believe that? I worked at that desk for years. I had photos on it. My favorite stapler, one of those good ones that could staple a 50-page report, no problem. A little cash, and some, personal recordings. But, yeah, they locked the whole area down tight, no one in or out. And then they march us all back to executive to interview everyone. I wasn't even there when it happened, and they were asking me if I noticed anything suspicious, if I saw anyone tampering with the containment cell and so on. Well, the only thing they learned was I prefer the ruffled chips to the non-ruffled ones. Better mouthfeel, like I said before. And then, after 3 hours of questions, they recommend we all go for trauma counseling. I was like, no thanks, I have my own therapist. I know I could use the word therapist and save a few bucks, but I worry they're going to put anything I say in a file somewhere. A bit paranoid, I know, but I work for a secret government organization, so yeah. I stopped going a few years back. To my therapist, I mean. She said that a lot of my issues stemmed from a negative outlook. Of course, I can't tell her anything about what I do, so I just had to sit there and nod. I kept waiting for that big aha moment. You know, where I realized that my need for approval stems from my dad or something? Turns out therapy doesn't work like that, so I stopped going. TV really gives you a skewed understanding of these kind of things. She did help me realize that I'm processing stress in an unhealthy way. I try not to carry all that around with me anymore, but it does stack up. Hard to just say no thank you to the anxiety buzzing in your head. One really helpful thing she had me do was find a creative outlet. I started doing some experimental music/poetry that I think was really ahead of its time. This was years back. I'm cooking up some pretty new sounds these days. Think My Bleeding Clock meets Sylvia Plath. Do you play any instruments?
Curious.
Well, I can see you being a guitarist, maybe a bassist. It's funny, I played the tuba in high school band. My favorite was In the Hall of the Mountain King. Tuba didn't get a lot of spotlight in most of the songs Mrs. McKinley chose, but Mountain King was my time to shine. Bum 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 bum. Ah, classic. I've moved on to less mainstream instruments now, but the tuba will always be a part of me. What were we talking about before? Right, the evacuation. Yeah, I heard afterward that the Hartman specimen had gotten loose and killed some staff. They had me digitizing records in some dark corner of the sector, so I didn't know a whole lot about the Bright Falls investigation at the time. It's a strange case. Most AWEs are one and done, but Bright Falls has pretty regular flare-ups. 3 incidents since 1970 when we first started tracking it. I got really interested when I heard Alan Wake was involved with the latest occurrence. I'm a huge Wake fan. I love the Alex Casey novels. That over-the-top hard-boiled detective thing is right up my alley.
Wait.
They're making a movie of the series.
It can't
but the
be a
guy who plays
coincidence
Casey
that I
doesn't
saw
have
him in a
enough
motel.
gravel in his voice, you know? I
Was he
remember being
drawn here
so
by the
pissed
investigation?
when Wake killed off Casey in the books. It's not a huge surprise, though. Wake sounded like a bit of a dick. Drank too much, fought paparazzi. The tabloids even said he was an abusive husband. So, yeah, troubled artist and all that. Apparently, there were chapters of an unfinished manuscript floating around after Wake disappeared. People say they're cursed, which is a very discriminatory term against altered materials, by the way. The forums all call the unfinished book Departure because Wake kept saying it would be a departure from his previous work. I found some pages that are supposedly the real deal on the internet. It's pretty dark stuff. He was going full horror, which makes sense since he used to write for Night Springs, but I would have preferred if he did something a little lighter. I've always said Wake had a great instinct for humor. Hey, did you know we own Night Springs? Yeah, the Bureau bought the rights after the original series ended. I've sent some story suggestions to the production team, but apparently they are not accepting pitches at this time. Typical. I'd be a great addition to their team, right? Huh. I didn't see you nod. Is this thing not on? Let me check.
It's definitely on.
Okay. Oh, the wire's down here. Huh. Oh, looks like it should be working. Hello? If you can hear me, shoot something. That was inconclusive. You shoot so often, it's hard to know when it's intentional. There also could be a delay on this video feed. Maybe the system just needs a reboot. This is a good opportunity to use a restroom anyway. Stay safe, ma'am. You guys are going to escort me, right? Okay, good.
This is Director Faden. I require backup at this location.
Let's do this!
To the good-for-nothings at the security check, I know you took a part of my brain when you put me through that metal detector. I'm not stupid. I know what they're really for. What I don't know is whether taking a part of my brain causes me to lose my memories or to lose sleep. I've been told if you lose sleep, you lose everything else too. That's where you trick us regular people. Now I don't know which it is, and I can't remember what you did to me. But I can tell you all this much. I don't find this funny at all. I want my memories back, and you can be sure the next time I wait the Baltimore-Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport, I will come and find you and make you fix what you broke. Sincerely, I don't think I will be signing this with my real name. Like I said, I'm not stupid. You can just mind your own business.
And that's 3. That should take care of any bad karma or whatever. But how did that first letter get in here? I wonder if I could track it to the source. Shit!
The robust director shoves the nerd-like scientist aside and heads for the portal control panel. He slams the on button with a determined fist. Director, all the more reason. The entire screen is filled with dangerous red. Then it fades away, and we see that the 2 men are in another dimension. The air ripples around them, as if they were a 1983 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am sitting in the Texas sun after a 5-day road trip. Interior, unknown dimension, night. Scientist, what have you done? You've doomed us. Director, control yourself, Doctor. Where's this beast of yours? Scientist, right there, sir. A horrible, shapeless, shifting entity fills the horizon. It can't be described. That's how horrible it is. Director, what a thing of beauty you've been keeping from me.
No AC, no mold spore circulation. But it might get a bit stuffy in here. Did the Hartman thing do all this?
Reminder, the law of 3 also applies to all faucets within the oldest house. Be mindful and don't cause any aquatic misconduct. Thank you for your attention.
Lots of dark corners to hide in. Okay, let's get the lights on and clear him out. All aboard.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Eagle Limited bound for Chicago. Please have your tickets ready and enjoy the ride.
Next stops, Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. That's Alton, Carlinville, and Springfield. Tickets, please. Tickets.
Good evening, all you fine-looking folks. Here's some smooth tunes to ease your minds and please your ears as we wait for that delicious dinner to roll right on in.
Nothing to stir, sit down. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have a ticket?
You had a pretty dark ride, huh? But I hope you're done replaying it now.
Eagle Limited Train Car. Containment Procedure. The item's altered effect can be avoided by simply not entering it. Proper signage and barriers should provide sufficient containment. The item is currently held in the Investigations Sector's AWE West Hangar for ongoing investigations. Description/para-utility. The item's exterior is that of a standard CZ-10 Vista Dome train car, the largest known altered item on record. Its interior seems to be an adjacent reality related to a trauma or memory belonging to a reducted, and not the physical item's own history. Causation for this link is still to be determined, but possibilities include the outside interference possibly responsible for the item's altered state, or trauma imprinting via shared memory states. Background: the item was discovered when the Bureau responded to a suspected crime scene in Bloomington, Illinois. The item was identified as an altered item and transported to the Bureau for examination and testing. See AWE 44 for further details. The Eagle Limited. Details. The Bureau has gathered concrete evidence that the train derailment was in fact the work of the para-criminal group known as Redacted, which, according to the Bureau's intel, has shown a concerning interest in experimenting with the artificial manufacturing of altered materials. Knowing the group largely operates in the American Midwest, the Bureau worked alongside the FBI to ascertain their movements and rendezvous locations. This cooperation provided agents with information that led to an arrest in conjunction with the AWE case. Under suspicion of involvement, Redacted was brought in for questioning. An interrogation performed by Agent Redacted resulted in the suspect being kept in a holding cell for 2 days without food, in breach of the Para-Criminal Rights Act. Afterwards, the suspect confessed to his involvement in the Redacted group and provided information on other members in exchange for his freedom.
That should make him happy.
You're welcome.
Agent Guthrie, Interrogation 4C pertaining to the Eagle Limited incident and its subsequent, state alteration.
Look, buddy, I have no clue what you're talking about.
So you deny being a part of a radical group aiming to affect inanimate objects in a manner that would yield, unusual results?
Yeah, I deny. But hey, tell me more about these results. They sound real unusual.
I'm sure you recognize that the measures this group of yours takes to achieve their goals can be considered acts of terrorism.
Goals? Measures? You're being very vague. Did you know you're being very vague?
All right, 62 dead. Passengers and crew, innocent people. Still sound vague to you?
You might as well stop wasting both our time.
I won't say anything, and you can't say anything. I know you can't.
Tell you what I can do. I can throw your sorry ass in one of our cozy containment cells. You can rot there until you're ready to talk. Or you could just save us both the trouble and tell me all about how you're going around creating altered items. How's that sound? Did you really think we wouldn't catch on to you? We always do. Always. So you might as well come clean. For your sake.
I think I'll just talk to my lawyer instead.
That's not how it works around here, buddy. But tell you what, why don't I leave you here to think on it for a while? See you in a couple of days.
Wait!
Entity Capture Report. Shaded Specimen A-10, formerly Dr. Emil Hartman. Summary. An alert from the redacted Washington Monitoring Station indicated minor redacted activity occurring in the area. Agent Estevez was dispatched to investigate. Inside the redacted lodge, she discovered the facility's former owner, Dr. Emil Hartman. He had been converted into a shaded individual and displayed violent behavior characteristic of its type. Agent Estevez alerted the on-site research team to the specimen's presence, and with some difficulty, it was successfully contained in a black rock cell. The cell and its inhabitant were transported safely back to HQ, where the specimen remains detained in the redacted sector as part of the redacted AWE investigation. Once the investigation is closed, research teams have petitioned to relocate this specimen to Bear Sector for study. Misdemeanor Report. Review. Agent Samuel Turnbull committed a misdemeanor while performing his duties as supervising agent of Project Redacted, designed to help undercover agents reassimilate to office duties. The incident began when Agent Turnbull refused one of the operatives' entry into the oldest house, claiming that they had been compromised. The situation escalated as Agent Turnbull attempted to force a confession out of the bastard. The injuries inflicted upon the victim required a trip to the medical wing. Agent Turnbull denied any guilt, maintaining that the victim was some sort of pod person and that he, unlike his colleagues, could see their true intentions: to use the Bureau's connections to climb the ranks of government and eventually into the Oval Office. Action taken. Despite breaching Bureau Offense Code 4.5, Agent Turnbull was given leave of absence with full pay due to his sterling record. He will be required to undergo a psychological evaluation upon his return.
nursing home. Founded in 2014 for Odin and Tor Anderson for their twilight years. The Valhalla Nursing Home. Founded in 2014 for Odin and Tor Anderson of the Old Gods of Asgard fame for their twilight years. Built after the Return Comeback tour, flip-flopped to be their farewell tour. Cut short, canceled, to the chagrin of their agent Barry Wheeler. Wheeler had managed to coax a couple of hit songs out of them before that. Balance Slays the Demon, a couple of others, 3 massive stadium-sized gigs. The old men rocked like they were possessed by the devil, like their namesakes. The backstage parties got out of hand. The air was thick with smoke. Wheeler squinted, his migraine flared. Booze and drugs, a rock and roll cliche. They ran off after every gig. Wheeler had security track them down to the craziest after parties. The Andersons were so old. Vampires, princes of fucking darkness. After every gig and the rampaging party that followed, it took them weeks to bounce back. And they never did completely. Each time Wheeler expected them to croak. It was that bad. After the 3rd gig, Wheeler couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't stomach the idea of another client dropping dead on him. Wheeler canceled. Called it off. It was over. After the Old Gods comeback tour was canceled, Wheeler set up a foundation with the money from the record sales of the Greatest Hits album and the gigs. A lot of money. Wheeler was good at his job. Wheeler set up the nursing home facility. The old men deserved it.
Hey Stu, did you hear about Fisher? Got himself in trouble in the motel. Why the hell does anyone volunteer to stake out that place? Gives me the creeps. But hey, at least he came back, if you can call that back. I saw some of the footage they pulled out of there with him. Tom down in evidence processing showed me. Crazy stuff. Fisher had the cameras pointed at himself half the time. I'm guessing he went nuts on day 1. He did catch something though. Got one of those Liber optic cameras under the door of the room he was hiding in and recorded something out in the hall. Looked like a shadow, maybe human. Tom tried to get the quality up, but it's still blurry as fuck. Just reaffirms my position, stay the fuck out of the motel. Anyway, up for some schmoom later, Lisa got up to 1 hour and 38 minutes yesterday. New record to beat. See ya.
follow the tube. So you're the one sending out spam mail. And that takes care of that. No more superstitious blackmail.
Hartman just came through here. God, he was hideous. He tore the security door into the Bright Falls AWE site wide open. He was so ugly. Like, wow, I got a good look at him, and Christ, he does not look like he used to. The hiss must have messed him up or something. He looks like a bar rag that's been twisted by the world's strongest man. Or a monster from some 80s horror movie. You know, back when it was all practical effects? Ugh, nasty.
Real
Did you say something? Remember, I can't hear you. Never mind, just go after Hartman. Ah, so disgusting.
I've written, rewritten. The darkness wants to hide the past and make me lose my way. I trust what I read on these pages. I wrote them for a reason. Cut through the reality, tear it apart, and rewrite it. They are drawn to the mystery. I've written and rewritten, deconstructed, reconstructed, experimented with different voices, changed the style, changed myself, forgotten the language, relearned the language. Have I been here before? Gone down this path before? The darkness wants to hide the past to make me lose my way. You must know where you've been to know where you're going. I trust what I read on these pages. I wrote them for a reason. My notes to myself. The only way to make progress, recap, then write more. The style then. Lose the fat. Make it clear. Ugly. Functional. Present. Be blunt. Only the brutal truth. Cut through the reality, tear it apart, rewrite it. Be clever, make them do the work, form the image in their minds. They make it, you just imply. Incept. They're drawn to the mystery, obsessed. You set it up, they put it together. Their interpretation, and there's only one because you give them no choice. And they believe in it because it's theirs now.
The scientist turns from what used to be his director, now transformed into a stranger, an alien that only resembles the director in form. He drops his all-important clipboard as he stumbles towards the closing portal, but the horrible entity is already rusting through it in a flow of insanity and chaos. The scientist becomes caught in it, and the entity devours him, screaming, as enters our world. The director lifts his pistol to his head. His hand is steady, sure in its finality. Or so I thought. The camera fades to black. A gunshot is heard. And so our hunger for control, our obsession for domination and power, the hubris at play in this children's puppet show we're starring in, can only lead to our fall from control, to submit to those who really hold the strings and control us. In Night Springs. Interview 65F124. Subject Alice Wake. Background. After reaching out to the Bureau, Alice Wake was brought into the oldest house for an interview on Redacted 2017. Summary. The interview conducted by agents Shaw and Dempsey revealed that Mrs. Wake has had recurring nightly visitations from her missing ex-husband in her New York apartment. Address redacted. Mr. Wake appears out of nowhere and rushes at her down the corridor. According to her impression, he appears crazy and horrifying, clearly coming at her with violent intent. Mrs. Wake believes that he is haunting her, insisting he's not Alan, but a fucking monster in his body. Mrs. Wake has not been sleeping out of the fear of these visits. Her attempts to keep the lights on through the night result in the relevant hallway's light bulb breaking every night, possibly indicating involvement of the redacted. Further investigation required. We propose installing monitoring equipment in the apartment. Copies of Supply Request Form L5014B have been sent to Mr. Kirkland and administration for approval.
Thank you for meeting with us again, Dr. Hartman.
It's my pleasure, gentlemen. I hope the information I provided thus far has been of some small use.
It's been invaluable, Doctor. Really, we have a much clearer picture of this event, thanks to your accounts.
Well, I do consider myself a keen observer.
We did have one question, though. You mentioned in an earlier conversation that your patients displayed, and I'm paraphrasing here, unnatural abilities that you in fact encouraged during their time in your lodge. It'd be very helpful if you could fill us in on the details there.
Of course. Like yourselves, I work to understand and even bend the rules of our earthly paradigm. My patient's well-being was paramount, of course, but I would hardly be a man of science if I did not reach out at the underlying truth. As I stated in my written proposal, I believe working alongside your organization could be greatly beneficial to both parties. Sharing notes, as they say.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all we need to hear. Remy?
Dr. Emil Hartman, you have been found in breach of Codes 4, 8, and 74 of the Federal Bureau of Control Criminal Offense System.
What? You can't do this? I am a well-connected man. You're making a dire mistake, my friend.
Will be detained until further notice and all personal property will be confiscated, including the Cauldron Lake Lodge.
That's preposterous. You can't just seize my property. I'm a United States citizen. I have rights. That lodge is my life's work. I'm offering you years of research.
Get him out of here.
You're making a mistake. You have to listen to me. You have to listen.
Forgotten again. I had a plan. I know it. I've forgotten.
Whatever is going on with Wake, he clearly needs some help.
Something to convey an alien force mimicking human intelligence. story needed many beginnings, many springs, streams that turned into a river, a flood, and then an ocean. This was one. Wake used the materials he had, the connections he had, the people, the places. Wake put them in to make it true. His wife, the psychiatrist, his city. These connections, like magnets, move things. Alice was a conduit. She'd been in the dark place. The thing that had been Hartman sensed her near, sensed Wake through her. Went berserk, broke loose. Wake made sure Alice was already gone by then. Safe. The more springs, the more the story became real. The more people believed. Cause and effect. It was extremely delicate and hard work. It had to go through the path of least resistance where success was most likely. Where there was a connection already. Wake felt the pressure grow in his head. Going mad. Wake had to escape. Right. His escape. He was already out. He wanted to make it true. Wake needed a hero. A hero needed a crisis. For the part in the story about the government agency, Wake needed something special, something to convey an alien force mimicking human intelligence. Something that can't be translated. Translated. Wake channeled Burroughs and Bowie. He cut up sentences and words. Orange peel. You are home. Insane. He put them in a shoebox. He pulled out the words. Wake created a Dadaist poem. He'd try anything once. Or had he tried this before?
Another replica. Like the one they made for Ordinary. I wonder what happened here.
Send a ranger out. Director's orders.
The Hiss are in for it now!
Hartman won't be a problem anymore, Langston. But investigations need someone to run it. Interested?
I've seen what happens to sector heads, ma'am. No, thank you. Ma'am, I'm getting something on my terminal here, an AWE alert from Bright Falls, Washington. But it might be a glitch. The date's all wrong, a couple of years in the future. And we're in lockdown, there shouldn't be any incoming signals.
Maybe it was active before we went into lockdown? Are there agents on site?
Let me check. Agent Estevez is the field agent in charge of monitoring the site, so she should be there to let us know if the situation has been through any major changes recently.
Things set in motion. If the alarm's true, then so is the reason for the alarm. The effect must follow the cause. It's happening again. A return. You have been warned.
Bright Falls. Event summary. An unconfirmed threshold manifestation occurred at Cauldron Lake, Washington. The citizens of Bright Falls had gathered in the town's southwestern fields for the annual festival known as Deer Fest. Eyewitnesses all claimed that the day had been sunny, confirmed by reviews of the area's weather reports, but then, with no warning, a thunderstorm appeared in the direction of the Anderson farm and a tornado rose from Cauldron Lake. The torrential rain that followed caused a flash flood. It was as if the day had turned to night. Testimony from Redacted. Frank Breaker, the sheriff of Bright Falls, formerly a bureau agent, see employee file redacted, managed to guide the crowd to safety as the festival grounds were destroyed by the flood. The festival was canceled, ending one day early. Lack of official bureau presence on the scene makes this event difficult to report as a confirmed AWE, though the similarity to other known events in the Bright Falls area lend credence to the accounts of the townspeople. Admission of evidence. Evidence ID number 12331-C. Description: a photograph of Alan Wake captured by Alice Wake during an event in her home. Background: Alice Wake, former wife of Alan Wake, has recently been visited at night by her ex-husband, or entity resembling him. Being a professional photographer, Mrs. Wake positioned cameras with motion sensors around the corridor he appears in and managed to capture an image of Mr. Wake on film. Additional information. During an interview with Mrs. Wake, she mentioned that her favorite camera, a redacted model, was lost in 2010 during AWE 35. No match has been found among the confiscated evidence from AWE 35. It has been filed as a potential altered item, and research staff stationed at Bright Falls are being contacted to check if they have any knowledge of such an item.
These are the notes of Dr. Emil Hartman. I am continuing my work alone again since certain parties were too blind to recognize a golden opportunity. Despite my generous offers, the conversations came to naught. Some people simply do not value collaboration as I do, though I believe now that it was for the best. The sort of bold, pioneering work that I am undertaking cannot thrive under the shackles of bureaucracy and regulation. I have a history of seeking such partnerships. There was a time when I had hoped Alan Wake and I could collaborate. Together we could have produced art such that the world has never seen. But Wake was stubborn, egotistical. Writers usually are. Disappointing nonetheless. But now, like Tom before him, Wake has disappeared into Cauldron Lake. And this is where my work turns hypothetical. Since he was lost to the lake, Thomas Zane has been observed by various townspeople. This indicates to me that the individuals within the lake are not entirely gone. I anticipate Wake will similarly return one day. While I may harbor some resentment for the man, his raw talent and determination are undeniable. From this, I have concluded that the lake and the dark place within it are not as removed from this world as I previously thought. Given my acute awareness of what awaits within, my meticulous preparations, and my considerable education, I believe myself much more prepared than either Tom or Wake. I should be able to cross into that dark realm with the chance to return as they have. All that remains is the dive itself. It frightens me, I admit, but such is the burden of the truth seeker. I will take my plunge into the dark tomorrow, with only the light of knowledge to guide me. It is time for a breakthrough. until I return.
Bright Falls, AWE 10. Details. On the day of the flooding, the rock band Old Gods of Asgard was rehearsing in a field outside the Anderson farm, the homestead of band members Odin and Tor Anderson. Both admitted to being in a heavy state of inebriation at the time, having spent days drinking their home-brewed moonshine while celebrating Deerfest. After the townspeople were evacuated from the flooded field, Sheriff Breaker was asked by Freya Anderson, daughter of Tor Anderson, to check on her father and uncle. Breaker drove to the Anderson farm and found the band members alive, but in need of medical aid. Tor Anderson had been struck by lightning, and Odin Anderson had cut out his own right eye, a possible reference to Norse deities Reducted and Reducted. They claimed they had fought and valiantly defeated a dark army of the Scratching Hag rising from Cauldron Lake, as seen in AWE Reducted of 1970, related to the suspected Reducted at Divers Eisy. While impossible to verify, these events are relevant to the recurring AWE at Bright Falls and the Cauldron Lake Reducted. Odin and Tor Anderson have been listed as persons of interest.
This must be where they studied Hartman. Kinda looks like Dylan's cell. I wonder if they treated him as badly.
Back to the beginning. We all come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer. Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story. In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces.